Many thanks for joining us on Aso Briefing at this hour. I am Joy Annie at Top Stories. European Union unveils €290 million investment package for Nigeria's key sectors. Middle East war, Dangote meets President Tinubu, urges de-escalation amid global oil market volatility. 10 killed in what FRSC described as preventable crash. And in sports, Bayelsa set to host Governor Duyediri National Wrestling Classics. And now the news in detail. You're watching Aso Briefing. We're live on DSTV channel 292, also on Star Times TV channel 127 and Free TV channel 507. We are also on the UHF band on channel 38. Now we'll begin from happenings from the international scene. The European Union has announced a fresh €290 million investment package for Nigeria, targeting key sectors including the digitalization, healthcare, agriculture, and migration management. The announcement was made in Abuja during the 8th EU-Nigeria Ministerial Dialogue co-chaired by Nigeria's Foreign Minister, Ambassador Yusuf Maitama and the EU High Representative, Kaja Kallas. A major share of the funding, he says, €131 million, will support digital transformation, including the rollout of 90,000 kilometers of fiber optic cables to expand internet across access and boost digital skill development, while €55 million has been set aside to strengthen local production of medicines and vaccines. Additional investment include €86 million for agriculture to improve cocoa and dairy value chains and €16 million for migration management with a focus on reintegration and tackling human trafficking, bringing total EU support to Nigeria since 2025 to over €962 million. Now the delegation then continued to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, where the European representative Kaja Kallas and Foreign Minister Ambassador Yusuf Maitama signed several memorandum of understanding, leaving both sides review on bilateral relations aimed at strengthening cooperation in areas of mutual interest. On economic ties, the EU reaffirmed its position as one of Nigeria's largest trading and investment partners, with over 200 European companies operating in the country. Both parties agreed to expand collaboration beyond oil into agriculture, manufacturing, and the digital economy. On security discussions, focused was on counter-terrorism, maritime safety in the Gulf of Guinea, and stability in the Sahel region, with Nigeria commending EU support to regional security effects. On climate change, Nigeria called for a fair and balanced energy transition while raising concerns over the EU's carbon policies and their impact on developing economies. Talks also covered migration, with both sides emphasizing humane and forward-looking approaches alongside progress on a proposed readmission agreement. Now the dialogue concluded with a renewed commitment to deepen cooperation in critical areas, including security, trade, governance, and sustainable development. Now, meanwhile, the United Kingdom has stepped up military deployments across the Middle East aimed at escalating regional tensions. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer says short-range air defense systems are being rapidly deployed to Bahrain, with similar support extended to Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. Starmer told a preliminary committee that the UK is also working with defense partners to supply air defense missiles to Gulf states facing repeated drone and missile attacks linked to tension involving Iran. He added that British airspace specialists have been deployed to the region to strengthen coordination and response. Meanwhile, the First Secretary, John Haley, confirmed the deployment of the Rapid Sentry anti-drone system to Kuwait, describing it as a battle-tested platform effective in intercepting aerial threats. Haley also announced that the British warship, the HMS Dragon, has arrived in the eastern Mediterranean to help defend Cyprus. The deployment follows criticism over the UK's initial response to a drone attack on its Akrotiri base in southern Cyprus after the outbreak of hostilities involving the United States, Israel, and Iran in late February. The UK says it now has more military jets in the region than at any time in the past 15 years, alongside an additional 500 air defense personnel deployed to Cyprus. It also revealed that British pilots have lodged nearly 900 flight hours supporting regional defense across Cyprus, Jordan, Bahrain, Qatar, and the United Emirates. The increased deployment comes as Iran continues a wave of drone attacks across the region, raising security concerns among Gulf allies. Now on the effect of the Middle East crisis, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu received business mogul and president of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, in Lagos to discuss the rising global oil prices. Dangote, who warned that rising tensions in the Middle East could deepen economic hardship across Africa due to volatility in global oil prices. Speaking after a meeting with President Bola Tinubu in Lagos, Dangote said although Nigeria is not directly involved in the conflict, the country will inevitably feel the impact as part of global economy. He cautioned that a prolonged crisis could worsen Africa's financial strain, noting that many countries are already grappling with heavy debt burdens and rising energy costs could trigger widespread effect on businesses and household livelihoods. Dangote, however, described Tinubu's recent visit to the United Kingdom as a positive step, saying it could open new economic opportunities, including a major agreement valued at about £746 million secured during the trip. Now back home to politics, Vice President Senator Kashim Shettima has assured Adamawa State Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri and his teaming supporters that they were not joining the All Progressives Congress APC as strangers, but as partners on a shared mission to build a Nigeria that works. He said the governor's entry into the governing party's fold is a reminder that democracy can also be sustained by the responsibility of political leaders to make choices that strengthen the system they serve, and not only by the people's hallowed mandate. Senator Shettima spoke on Monday in Yola, the Adamawa State capital, when he formally received Governor Fintiri and his supporters into the APC on behalf of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Addressing the mammoth crowd that gathered at the Mahmoud Ribadu Square venue of the grand reception, the Vice President told the new party entrants that their arrival was an alignment with a vision that places Nigeria at the center of governance, as well as a party that understands that power is not an end but a responsibility. Meanwhile, according to a statement issued by Stanley Walcott, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communication, Office of the Vice President, in his remarks, Governor Fintiri said he joined the APC to realign with the good policies and programs of President Tinubu that were already working, placing Nigeria in the Committee of Great Nation. Now the chairman of Abaji Area Council, Alhaji Abubakar Umar Abdullahi, has clarified that the proposed solar power initiative for the area is not meant to replace electricity supply from the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, the AEDC, but rather to provide an alternative and reliable energy sources for residents. Addressing recent concerns and criticism from some members of the public, the chairman explained that the solar initiative is designed to complement the existing national grid supply. According to him, residents will still have access to electricity from AEDC while also benefiting from solar power, giving households the flexibility to use whichever option is more convenient and reliable. Alhaji Abubakar Abdullahi added that the solar system will operate on a pay-as-you-use model similar to recharge cards, allowing residents to pay based on their energy consumption. He said the approach is aimed at making the system affordable, user-friendly, and accessible to many households within the council. The council chairman also dismissed claims that the project will be funded with public funds from the area council treasury. He explained that the initiative is a private sector investment being driven by an interested company, while the council's role is only to provide minimal support where necessary. On the issue of calls for the establishment of a step-down power facility, Alhaji Abubakar Abdullahi acknowledged that the project is important, but noted that it requires huge financial resources and time to complete. He assured residents that the option has not been ruled out, but emphasized that the solar initiative is a practical step towards addressing the current power challenges in Abaji. Well, the chairman further stated that no financial decision will be taken without adequate consultations with the people. He revealed that once feasible and feasibility studies by the interested solar companies are completed, the area council will organize a town hall meeting with residents to explain the project and receive their inputs. The Abaji chairman said the initiative reflects the council's commitment to improving electricity supply and enhancing the quality of life for the people of Abaji through practical and sustainable solutions. Now, 10 persons have been confirmed dead in a road crash along the Tafa-Gujeni Road in Niger State. The accident, which occurred Monday morning at Malam Tanko, involved a DAF tanker conveying 33 male occupants. According to the Federal Road Safety Corps, 20 persons sustained injuries while 3 others were rescued and hurt. Preliminary investigations attribute the crash to excessive speeding, which led to loss of control, noting the vehicle was engaged in illegal mixed loading, transporting both goods and passengers, a practice it says contributed to the high casualty figure. FRSC officials responded promptly, rescuing 23 victims and evacuating the injured to Umar Musa General Hospital in Sabon Wuse, while the remains of the deceased have been deposited at the hospital morgue. The Corps Marshal, Sheikh Mohammed, described the incident as avoidable and warned motorists against speed violation and unsafe transport practices. He added that the Corps will intensify enforcement and public awareness campaigns nationwide, urging drivers and transport operators to comply with safety regulations, stressing that road safety is a shared responsibility. Now, when Aso Briefing returns, more stories to stay with us.
Some things don't arrive, they've always been. Not for a day, for all of time. Until quietly something shifts, moving from someday to now. Women are not honored in time, they are woven through it, shaping every story, every voice, every breath. We are because she is, and because tomorrow they will be.
You're on to Aso Briefing. Watch us live on DSTV channel 392, also on StarTimes TV channel 127 and Free TV channel 507. We are also on the UHF band on channel 38. Now to other stories. The Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Sheikh Mohammed, has commended motorists for their improved conduct during the just concluded Eid al-Fitr celebrations. The Corps spokesperson, Corps Commander Felicia Kalu, in a statement said the Corps Marshal also praised FRSC operatives for their professionalism and resilience, noting their performance contributed significantly to safer highways and better traffic management nationwide. The commendation followed operational reports from supervisory teams deployed across the country, which indicated a high level of compliance by road users during the festive period, while acknowledging minor traffic violations. The Corps Marshal described the overall operation as successful and urged drivers to maintain safe road practices beyond the celebrations. He reaffirmed the Corps' commitment to strict enforcement of traffic regulations and called on all road users to see safety as a shared responsibility. Now, the federal government has shortlisted 65 student innovators from 30,639 applicants across 404 tertiary institutions nationwide for the final stage of the Student Venture Capital Grant, the SVCG, a flagship initiative of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu designed to accelerate high-impact student-led ventures and strengthen Nigeria's innovation-driven economy. The milestone highlights the depth of innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurial potential within Nigeria's university ecosystem. with students developing scalable solutions across sectors critical to national development. Announcing the development, the Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Olatunji Alausa, described the initiative as a strategic investment in Nigeria's next generation of innovators and job creators, noting that the outcome reflects the growing creativity and entrepreneurial capacity of Nigerian students. The Student Venture Capital Grant, launched in December 2025 in partnership with the Bank of Industry, provides up to 50 million naira in equity-free funding to students and support student-led ventures that have reached the commercialization stage. Now, the initiative is designed to enable student entrepreneurs to scale innovative solutions, stimulate job creation, and contribute to innovation-driven economic growth. The selection of the 65 finalists followed a transparent and rigorous multi-stage evaluation process. Application first underwent AI-enabled screening to access eligibility, completeness, and alignment with program objectives, followed by independent human validation to ensure accuracy and fairness. This milestone reinforces the Federal Ministry of Education's commitment to promoting innovation, supporting student entrepreneurship, and building a pipeline of scalable ventures capable of driving Nigeria's economic transformation. The Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) has expressed disquiet over the persistent crisis in the power sector. This was made known by the NLC President Joe Ajero during a briefing in Abuja. He accused operators in the electricity value chain, particularly distribution, discos, and generation gencos companies, of benefiting from subsidies and tariff increases while citizens pay for darkness. The union rejected the proposed 6 trillion naira bailout for gencos, describing it as a temporary fix to a flawed system. The Umbrella Labour Union called for the merger of the Ministries of Power with that of Petroleum Resources into a single Ministry of Energy. It argued that their separation contributes to inefficiencies, particularly in gas supply for the thermal power generation. The Labour Union sought a review of the electricity tariff regime, calling for pricing tied to service delivery rather than cost-reflective tariffs. It also reiterated that its opposition to the privatization of the power sector. The NLC said the 2013 reforms had failed to deliver expected results. Moving on now, the federal government yesterday set a firm tone for the future of Nigeria's pension industry, warning the newly inaugurated board of the National Pension Commission, PENCOM, that any lapse in governance could erode public confidence in over 28 trillion naira belonging to millions of workers and retirees. At the inauguration of the new board in Abuja yesterday, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, delivered a blunt message: safeguard pension funds, respect institutional boundaries, and keep politics out of operation. He said the government expected nothing short of the disciplined oversight, transparency, and strict adherence to the Pension Reforms Act 2014. Akume urged board to tighten internal controls, deepen risk management frameworks, and ensure that every decision strengthens confidence in the system. The SGF also urged the occasion to restate the commitment of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration to pensioners, noting that efforts are underway to clear outstanding liabilities and ensure retirees receive their benefits promptly and with dignity. Responding on behalf of the board, Chairman Agbaje Olukayode pledged alignment with the government's expectations and a commitment to strong corporate governance. Director General of PENCOM, Omolola Olowo Rarang, welcomes the board inauguration as a turning point for the Commission, noting that its absence had left a gap in governance oversight. And the former President of the Nigerian Wrestling Federation, the NWF, Daniel Igali, has reiterated the state's readiness to host the upcoming Governor Duye Diri National Wrestling Classics in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State. Igali told newsmen in Abuja that the state is set to provide a befitting competition for the 30 participating states and 10 clubs. He said the championship, originally scheduled for December 10th to December 20, 2025, was rescheduled to March 25th to April 1st. According to the Commissioner for Sports Development in the state, the championship will be one of the most competitive and best organized national wrestling championship in recent times. He also said the state government, through the Ministry of Sports Development, in collaboration with the NWF led by the new president, Adewale Adeniyi, has put in place all necessary modalities for a world-class event. The strong support of sponsors and partners have further enhanced this edition, positioning it as the best so far. He said all states, military and paramilitary institutions and wrestling clubs are encouraged to submit their full contingent list promptly. He added that the National Wrestling Classics remains one of the longest running and most respected national championships in Nigeria, playing a vital role in talent discovery and in elite athletes deployment in Nigeria. Now, Nagali said wrestling enthusiasts and stakeholders are invited to Yenagoa for a week to top-level action as Bayelsa hosts the nation in what promises to be a memorable celebration, wrestling excellence. But that's much we can take on Aso Briefing today. Thank you for your time. I am Joy Annie. Good afternoon.